Yes, I know this has been done, but now it's my turn. Today, instead of telling you why Fire Emblem Fates is probably going to get censored, I'm going to tell you why I think it did get censored. Because it did get censored, and it's not going to be the same game that they got over in Japan last year. But it's still totally worth the hype and nothing to really get upset about. I spent a while thinking about this, and I kinda just wanted to share what I thought about it. I mean, I sat down, spent like 3 hours writing this script, so I might as well use it. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, this is Fire Emblem Awakening. It was supposed to be the last game in the Fire Emblem series, but it sold way better than all of its predecessors, and totally pulled a Final Fantasy and revived the series. Now, it seems like Fire Emblem will live to see a new generation. Isn't that great? As it turns out, the secret to selling a game is to actually advertise a little and make sure that people know it exists. Yes, Awakening was my first Fire Emblem, and I found out about it through some eShop trailer, but as far as I'm concerned, the best advertisement Fire Emblem ever got was having a few of its characters in Super Smash Bros. And that's about it. This is the new Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem Fates. It's called Fire Emblem IF in Japan. And I guess what they mean by that is if you did something else would happen. Because you get to make a lot of choices in the game. Kinda like in Until Dawn. But anyways, this time IS, Intelligent Systems, is going to be releasing 2 different versions of the game at the same time, and another one a little while after. And it's coming to the US on February 19th. So, if you haven't finished Awakening yet, and you care about playing stuff in chronological order, you better get on that. So, initially, I was really excited to play Fates when it came out, but then I heard about some features in the game that were most definitely going to be censored by Nintendo, because, they censor pretty much everything, even when it's not exactly necessary, kinda like school principals. Now, we all wish we could be noble senpais with our free body pillows and mouse pads that are way too big and curvy to even think about using a mouse on, and monthly installments of the Sakura series. But some of us have had the great pleasure and great misfortune of growing up with Nintendo consoles. We got to see some of the most fun, innovative, and flat out coolest games ever made, and then even sometimes have those games turn on us like Madoka Magica. We can't get up and just abandon our favorite series that have been good to us for years just because some fox spirit hussy happens to be in town this week. Alright, now in terms of what's getting censored, we already know that a scene where your character spikes a girl's drink to make her see men as women and women as men, that's getting taken out for reasons, and that's understandable. I don't have a problem at all with that. But 2 parts of the, game that you can actually kind of play are also being taken out, I'm pretty sure. That is Peta-waifu. And basically, what that is, it's like Pokemonami, but with Fire Emblem characters instead of Pokemon. Secondly, there is the swimsuit model viewer. Basically, you can just see all the characters in swimsuits. That's all there is to it. At first, I was pretty upset, just like everyone else was. But you know what? I've come to terms with it now. Like, all you gotta do to see that swimsuit stuff is just go look it up on Google, and yeah, I guess that's a bit inconvenient, but it's doable. And the only downside to not having skinship, or peta-waifu as I called it earlier, is that we'll probably never get skinship for the PC made. Kinda like there's a Pokemon-ame for the PC. Or at least that's what I thought. I heard that, kinda like how they did with Pokemon-ame, skinship will actually, like, help your character's stat boosts with all your units and stuff, and that really helps in the Nor route, because I heard you can't grind in Conquest, which is really terrible. Like, recently I just found out that the secret to actually getting through a stage in Fire Emblem Awakening was to grind. Like, half the time I spent playing that game, I was just closing the game and reopening it because I didn't know about soft restarting then. Don't get me wrong, I still don't like the fact that the game is getting cut and we're just like missing a piece of the game that otherwise would be there because it got censored. I'm like, the least they could do is replace it. Personally, I would like to speak to the manager. The manager of Nintendo, just, if you're watching this, just hit me up. We can talk, okay? And you probably don't want to listen to me, but I just don't care. Just like you just don't care. So let's not care together and make these games happen, you know? There is just one little thing in Fates that I will not stand for being censored. And that's Camilla. Because, well, like, it's part of her character, you know? I mean, are you kidding me? I think they'll be able to get away with it though. Not like it's anything to get away with, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that even after this whole game gets censored, it's still gonna come out to be rated T for teen, just like every other Fire Emblem has been in the past. So yeah, I don't think that's anything to worry about. After a few hours of being like,
I don't see why Nintendo of America feels the need to censor everything that has the waifus in it, except Bayonetta, of course. I get that they want to reach a larger demographic, but have they forgotten how they spent the GameCube era trying to prove that they didn't only make kids games, that Nintendo could produce video games that were serious, thought-provoking, and dealt with problems that kids couldn't understand or would be too scared to face?
At least kids back in the day would feel that way, because kids these days either have terrible lives or are too stupid to be afraid, because 7-year-olds now play games that I'm afraid to play. I began to wonder why Reggie from Nintendo, who was about ready to kill Bill over those donuts, doesn't tear him a new one for endlessly censoring their biggest titles. People always say stuff like, man, what's Nintendo's problem? They don't think us Americans are mature enough to play mature games? So I just kept thinking and thinking about why it is that they do this. Why it is that they censor our games in the West so hard. And then I was like, well, when you think about it in terms of our cultural values and all that, the United States and the West in general is pretty different from Japan, where the game was originally made. Like, I remembered how in Japan a lot of dudes are always too busy with work to even lead women on, let alone be in a real romantic relationship. That's why Japan is full of stuff like visual novels and waifu simulators and all sorts of other eroge and stuff. And I was like, could skin a waifu just be another way to help busy Japanese men or lesbian women who like Fire Emblem get through their lonely days? Could this be why Reggie insists we don't need swimsuit viewing capabilities? Personally, I think so. So rejoice. Don't fret, because we have time to get waifus that we can pet with our real hands. I hope I've expanded your guys' minds and quenched the fires in your hearts, 'cause like I said earlier, I spent about 3 hours writing this script one day, just 'cause I felt like it. But hey, that's all just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. Hey, what's up again, guys? It's me, Dr. Sleuth. That's right, you haven't seen the last of me. And I was just wondering, if you're interested in Fire Emblem Fates, which version will you be getting? Will you side with the Hoshido and Birthright, or will you go with the Noir and Conquest? For myself, I think I'm going to go with Conquest, even though I'd really like to get in on some of that shoujo eye they've got in Birthright. And also, are you interested in getting Revelations when it comes out in March? So, you guys can just let me know about that in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Dr. Sleuth out.